Julie, the state will start taking 800 arrivals per week.
That's right, Tom. It's certainly good news today for those Victorians who are desperate to get home. As of the 8th of April, we will see 800 international arrivals welcomed back into Melbourne quarantine facilities. Now, this is then going to be scaled up come the 15th of April, when we will see Victoria welcome 1,120 international arrivals per week. Now, come this stage, our acting Premier James Merlino says that a proportion of that group are going to be what's known as economic travellers, so film crew, international students, people with skills needed in Victoria. Now, these changes today, it does follow a series of reviews into Victoria's hotel quarantine program, one to do with more mutant strains of COVID, another to do with ventilation systems within these facilities. One major recommendation coming out of the reports today is that testing will be increased for these return travellers. Instead of 3 tests per week or 2 tests per week, it's now going to be 4. So people will be tested on day 0, 4, 12 and 14. And a big change as well is that they will then be contacted by the Department of Health after leaving quarantine, and it'll be recommended that they take a further 2 tests. Now, James Merlino says that it can't be perfect, but at the moment, given these recommendations and these reviews that have been undertaken, it is now safe to reopen the quarantine program.
In a global pandemic, there is no such thing as zero risk. What we've done through Alan's review, the ventilation assessments, what we are doing is leaving no stone unturned to make it as safe as possible.
So 19 hotels will be a part of this program. It's not specified exactly which yet, but we've had really thorough ventilation assessments, according to the Deputy Premier, of all of these facilities, room by room. Here's a representative from COVID Quarantine Victoria about exactly what kind of assessments are done in these facilities.
For some, it is as simple as, changing some toilet exhaust fans and modifying those. Some, it is tweaks to the actual system in terms of increasing airflow or decreasing airflow in a couple of hotels.
Now, another major part of the reviews is, of course, looking into alternative forms of quarantine. They're not quite at the end of that review yet. It is going to take some time. They've nominated 10 separate possibilities. That's going to then be narrowed down to 3, and that final one will go to business case at the end of the month. It'll either be sticking with the current hotel quarantine system with better arrangements and reviews of those facilities, either a hybrid model or a purpose-built facility. And we did hear from Alan Cheng as well, the Deputy Chief Health Officer. He said another really frontline defence for us is the fact that 90% of those frontline hotel quarantine workers have been vaccinated, and no one who hasn't received at least their first dose of the Pfizer jab will be rostered onto these shifts when that program resumes. Tom?
Julia Bradley, thank you.